Alien armor rated Impenetrable, human cadet asked. Mind if I test that? He adjusted the straps of his light pack and looked around. The Galactic Defense Academy sprawled across a plateau, a mix of metal and crystal towers that glittered under the twin suns. Alien ships hovered lazily above the training grounds, casting long shadows over the cadets who were already moving through drills. The academy was quiet in a way that made him uneasy. Not dead silent, but alive with anticipation. Everywhere he looked, aliens of different shapes, colors, and sizes trained with precise movements that seemed almost unnatural. Some had 6 limbs, others had long, whip-like tails. A few had shells and exoskeletons that reflected the sunlight like mirrors. Liam swallowed. He knew he was small compared to most of them, but humans were built for endurance and cunning. That had to count for something. Cadet Parker, Liam turned. A tall alien with bluish skin and bright orange eyes approached him. Its limbs were thin but muscular, moving with a grace he did not expect from a creature of that size. Yes, sir, Liam said politely. I am Instructor Vec, the alien said, its voice resonating in a low hum. You are human. We have not had many humans here. You will be watched closely. I don't mind, Liam said with a small smile. I like being watched. Vec's eyes narrowed. He tilted his head slightly, studying Liam in silence. Finally, he spoke. We shall see if your species' reputation matches your courage. Follow me. Liam followed him across the open courtyard, keeping his gaze on the many cadets moving through drills. Some were sparring in the arena, others practicing climbing and balance exercises on floating platforms. Liam noticed something unusual. A section of the courtyard was fenced off, and inside, several suits of alien armor were displayed. They glinted under the sunlight, their surfaces marked with symbols he didn't recognize. Those are called the obsidian shells, Vec said without looking back. They are rated impenetrable by any known weapon or cadet. You will learn about them eventually. Liam grinned slightly under his breath. Impenetrable, huh? Mind if I test that? Vec stopped in his tracks and looked down at him, a faint glimmer of curiosity in his eyes. Bold words for a human. Very well. You will have your chance eventually. But first, you must learn the rules of the academy. The main building of the academy was a mix of metal and crystal, its walls glowing faintly as if alive. Inside, Liam could feel the energy in the air. Holographic displays floated in mid-air, showing maps, star systems, and various tactical exercises. Alien cadets moved between the rooms with ease, some carrying objects he could barely identify. Vec led him to a room filled with chairs and workstations. This is your training room, he said. You will learn theory here, strategy, tactics, combat simulations. You will sit, listen, and observe. Humans usually struggle with long lessons, but perhaps you are different. Liam nodded. I'll try to keep up. The first lesson began immediately. An instructor with 4 arms and green, scaled skin appeared at the front of the room. Welcome, cadets, the instructor said. Today, you will study the history of armor development across the galaxy. Many civilizations have tried to create suits that cannot be penetrated. Few have succeeded. Your test will involve understanding their strengths and weaknesses. Liam tried to focus. His mind wandered as the instructor droned on about materials that could withstand plasma blasts, energy shields, and gravitational compression. He noticed alien cadets scribbling notes on floating tablets with perfect precision. Some had already memorized entire tables of energy output versus armor resistance. Liam, on the other hand, tried to visualize how each armor might move in real combat. During a break, he stepped outside to get some fresh air. The courtyard was alive with cadets practicing hand-to-hand combat and testing various weapons. Liam watched as one alien cadet, tall and covered in blue scales, struggled to break a medium-strength armor shell. The cadet swung a heavy staff repeatedly, but the armor held firm. The alien stomped its feet in frustration and finally collapsed to the ground, panting. Liam smirked. "Impenetrable, huh?" he muttered. Another cadet, smaller and yellow-skinned with multiple eyes, noticed him watching. "You're a human," it said cautiously. "You don't belong here, you'll fail." "Maybe," Liam said, shrugging. "Or maybe I'll surprise you." The yellow-skinned cadet's eyes widened. It wasn't common for humans to speak with such confidence. Most were quiet, trying not to draw attention. Liam enjoyed the reaction. Humans were underestimated everywhere in the galaxy, and he intended to use that. The next lesson was on endurance. Cadets were required to run across the training fields while carrying heavy packs and dodging simulated hazards. Liam lined up with the others. The aliens looked at him with curiosity, some hiding smirks. When the signal was given, everyone sprinted. Liam's legs burned and his lungs ached, but he kept a steady rhythm. He noticed many of the aliens tiring quickly. They were strong but lacked stamina. Liam had spent years training his body to endure longer than most, and now it showed. After the exercise, cadets were allowed a short break. Liam leaned against a wall, dripping with sweat, and watched as the aliens complained about the heat and exhaustion. He wiped his forehead with a towel and smiled quietly. He felt more alive than ever. Later, he was assigned to a practice hall for basic combat drills. Aliens sparred with precision, their movements almost mechanical in perfection. Liam noticed something strange. While their techniques were flawless, they were predictable. Humans, on the other hand, were unpredictable. That unpredictability could be an advantage. His first sparring partner was a large alien with thick armor on its arms and legs. It towered over him, muscles bulging as it swung a heavy baton. Liam dodged, ducked, and waited for an opening. The alien underestimated him, expecting a direct attack. Liam slipped under a swing, grabbed the alien's arm, and used its momentum to push it off balance. The alien stumbled but quickly recovered. Liam stepped back, smiling. "Interesting," Vex said from the sidelines. "The human adapts quickly." Another cadet whispered to its friend, "I heard humans are weak, but he is fast and clever. That is concerning." Liam spent the rest of the day moving between lessons, drills, and observations. He learned about alien tactics, studied their armor designs, and watched their reactions closely. Everywhere he went, he noticed one thing: they underestimated him. It wasn't arrogance. They genuinely believed humans were weaker. That would work in his favor. As night fell, Liam stood on a balcony overlooking the academy. The twin suns had set, leaving a faint purple glow over the mountains and training grounds. Ships moved silently in the sky, and the sounds of distant drills echoed across the plateau. He took a deep breath. "Tomorrow," he said to himself, "I start testing that armor." He knew it wouldn't be easy. The aliens had trained for centuries to perfect their suits, and the instructors were among the most skilled in the galaxy. But Liam had something they did not: creativity, resilience, and a mind that could see possibilities where others saw limits. Humans were underestimated everywhere, and this was just another place to prove them wrong. As he turned to head back inside, a small yellow-skinned cadet approached him cautiously. "You really think you can break it?" it asked. Liam smiled. "I don't think I know I can." The cadet's eyes widened, and it scuttled away, leaving Liam alone with the quiet hum of the academy at night. Stars shone above, alien constellations he had never seen before. Liam Parker, human cadet, felt the weight of the galaxy pressing down on him, but instead of fear, he felt excitement. He was ready. Tomorrow, the real challenge would begin. The next morning, Liam woke early, before the sun had fully risen. He felt the cold, thin air of Xyler filling his lungs as he stepped outside. The academy was already alive with movement. Cadets ran across the fields, sparring and practicing drills. The air was thick with energy and the faint hum of alien machinery. Liam adjusted his pack, feeling lighter than yesterday, more prepared. Today he was going to see the armor for himself. He made his way to the armory where the obsidian shells were displayed. Even in the bright morning light, the suits glinted as if daring anyone to touch them. The shells were smooth and dark, their surfaces etched with symbols that seemed to shift slightly as the light hit them. Liam ran his hand lightly over the edge of one, feeling the strange texture. It was cold and hard, like nothing he had ever felt before. "Cadet Parker," Vex's voice called from behind him. Liam turned to see the alien instructor approaching. "It is time to test courage, or foolishness. The armor awaits in the testing hall. Today, you will see how it performs against cadets of this academy." Liam smiled and followed. His heart beat faster with excitement, but not fear. Humans were built to adapt, and he had spent years learning how to think quickly and act faster than anyone expected. The testing hall was massive, a dome that seemed to stretch endlessly. The floor was smooth and slightly reflective. Along the sides, other cadets gathered, watching silently as Liam stepped into the center. In front of him stood the first obsidian shell. It was mounted on a mechanical frame, tall and wide, and glowing faintly from the energy shield that surrounded it. Even at a distance, it looked unbreakable. Vex's voice echoed through the hall. "This is the first test. You may attempt to strike the armor with your hands. No weapons, no external assistance. The armor has been tested against hundreds of cadets. None have succeeded." Liam looked at the armor carefully. He studied the lines, the joints, and the glow of the shield. Then he shrugged lightly. "I like a challenge," he said under his breath. The alien cadets murmured among themselves. Some laughed quietly, others shook their heads in disbelief. A few whispered, "The human will fail, as all humans do." Liam ignored them. He did not need their approval or their understanding. He took a few steps forward and assumed a simple stance. He didn't tense too much. Instead, he let his body relax, ready to respond to what he felt in the moment. The aliens watching gasped when he raised his hand and pressed it lightly against the armor. Nothing happened. The surface was smooth, hard, and unyielding. Then slowly, Liam shifted his weight. He tested the edges, the points where the panels joined, places where a quick, clever strike might have an effect. He moved with patience, watching the energy shield shimmer slightly with every contact. The alien cadets were growing restless, muttering among themselves, some leaning forward, curious despite themselves. Liam smiled slightly. He had learned from human training, force alone was not enough. Timing, leverage, and understanding the material were what mattered. He took a deep breath, stepped back, and then moved forward with a controlled strike. The sound echoed through the hall, a sharp crack like breaking ice. The armor shuddered, and a small section of the shield flickered. Liam's hand pressed again, and the panel gave way slightly under his touch. Gasps erupted from the alien cadets. Many could not believe what they were seeing. Instructor Vex's eyes widened, and even the other instructors at the side of the hall leaned forward, studying the human cadet carefully. "Impossible," one of the alien cadets whispered. "No one has ever done that." Liam did not respond. He kept moving, pressing and striking at weak points he had identified. The armor resisted at first, but then his strikes began to show results. Small cracks appeared along the joints. The mechanical frame shuddered under his strength. Cadets watching could see the change. The impenetrable armor was showing signs of vulnerability, and only one human had made it happen. Vex stepped closer, his orange eyes narrowing. "Cadet Parker," he said, "you are not using brute force alone. You are analyzing, adapting, human thought applied to armor. Fascinating." Liam nodded slightly, ignoring the whispers around him. He knew that to impress, he needed to finish the test quickly and decisively. He positioned his hands, then struck again with a precise motion, using the combination of speed and leverage he had been practicing. The armor panel cracked and fell to the ground with a heavy clang. The energy shield flickered one final time before shutting down. The hall went silent. Even the most skeptical aliens were frozen in disbelief. Liam stepped back, breathing steadily. "Done," he said simply. For a moment, no one moved. Then the cadets began to murmur loudly, some cheering quietly, others shaking their heads in disbelief. Vex's hum of approval filled the hall. "You have done what no cadet has done in centuries. You have tested the armor and you have found its limits." One alien cadet, tall and covered in silver scales, stepped forward. "It cannot be," it said. "No human could." Its words trailed off as it looked at Liam. Liam smiled faintly. "Humans are underestimated," he said. "You'll learn that quickly if you're paying attention." The next armor test was larger, a reinforced suit designed to withstand multiple strikes at once. Liam approached it calmly, studying its panels, the glow of its shield, and the way it was mounted. The alien cadets around him whispered, unsure whether to watch or step back. He moved quickly now, applying everything he had learned from the first armor. He pressed, struck, and twisted at weak points. The reinforced panels groaned under his effort and sparks flew from the joints. Some aliens gasped audibly, others simply stared, stunned. Liam felt a thrill in his chest. This was more than testing armor, it was testing expectations. After several minutes, he stepped back. Several panels had cracked or shifted, revealing the inner mechanics. He had not destroyed the armor entirely, but he had proven it was not invincible. Vex's hum of approval was louder now. "Remarkable," he said. "Your mind and body together surpass what most cadets can achieve in a lifetime. You see patterns others cannot." Another cadet approached cautiously. "Cadet Parker," it said, "how do you do it?" "We cannot break it, and yet you—" Its voice trailed off. Liam shrugged. "I watch, I think, I act, that's all." The final test of the day was a simulated battle. Liam was placed in a training arena with the largest armor model, moving on robotic supports, designed to test reflexes and reaction. Alien cadets controlled it from a distance, attempting to block or counter his movements. The first moments were chaotic. The armor moved unpredictably, swinging panels and energy shields. Liam ducked, sidestepped, and calculated angles. He did not try to overpower it, he tried to outthink it. With a sudden movement, he pressed a joint at the right angle, and the panel opened slightly. He twisted, struck, and the armor shuddered. The alien cadets controlling it gasped, adjusting quickly, but Liam was already adapting. Within minutes, the largest armor model had several weak points exposed. The alien cadets stared in disbelief. No human had ever come close to this before. Liam stepped back, smiling, breathing steadily. Instructor Vec approached him again. "You have exceeded all expectations today. The armor was designed to be unbeatable, and yet, you have shown that thought, precision, and human adaptability can overcome even the most advanced technology." Liam nodded, not letting the praise distract him. He knew this was only the beginning. The Academy would have harder challenges, faster, stronger opponents, and more advanced armor. But he had proven one thing: humans were not weak, not by a long shot. By the end of the day, the word of his achievement had spread through the Academy. Alien cadets whispered in corners, some openly acknowledging the human skill. Some still doubted, but curiosity had replaced arrogance. Liam walked through the halls, noticing the change in how others looked at him. No longer was he just a human cadet. They were watching, carefully, with respect mixed with disbelief. As he lay in his quarters that night, Liam thought about the day's events. He had tested the armor, broken through its defenses, and surprised an entire academy. The adrenaline still hummed in his veins. He knew the challenges ahead would be greater, but he felt ready. Tomorrow would bring more armor tests, more alien cadets eager to prove themselves, and perhaps the beginning of real combat simulations. Liam Parker, human cadet, had made his mark, and he intended to leave a lasting impression on everyone at the Academy. He closed his eyes and smiled. Humans were underestimated everywhere. Here, on Xylar, in the heart of the galaxy that was about to change. The next morning, the Academy was buzzing with news. Liam Parker, the human cadet, had broken through the so-called impenetrable armor. Everywhere he went, alien cadets whispered his name. Some looked at him with admiration, others with disbelief, and a few with barely hidden envy. Liam walked through the halls, noticing how even the instructors seemed to watch him differently. He did not feel proud, not in a boastful way. Instead, he felt a quiet satisfaction. Humans had been underestimated for centuries, and today he had shown that size, strength, or centuries of training were not the only measures of ability. The mind, adaptability, and persistence counted for more than many realized. Cadet Parker, Vec called from the main training yard. Today, you will face multiple challenges. You will be tested not just against armor but against alien cadets themselves. Are you prepared? I'm ready, Liam said, tightening the straps of his pack. The yard was enormous, stretching farther than he could see. It was divided into different sections for combat, endurance, and strategy exercises. Today, the focus was on hand-to-hand combat and teamwork. Liam was to spar against 3 alien cadets simultaneously, each selected for their skill and strength. His first opponents arrived. They were tall, muscular, and confident. One had green, scaled skin with claws extending from its hands. Another had a thick exoskeleton and a long tail. The third was smaller but fast, with 6 arms and sharp eyes that tracked every movement. They looked at Liam and laughed quietly, assuming the human would be quickly overwhelmed. 3 against 1, the smallest alien said. Good luck, human, you'll need it, Liam smiled faintly. Thanks, I'll try not to disappoint. The signal sounded and the fight began. The first alien lunged with a clawed hand, swinging at Liam with strength meant to crush bones. Liam sidestepped, rolling under the strike, and struck the alien's knee with a precise kick. The alien staggered but recovered quickly, not expecting the human to move so smoothly. The second alien tried to strike from behind with its tail. Liam twisted his body, letting the tail sweep past him. He grabbed the alien's arm and used its own momentum to flip it over. The third alien came at him with a flurry of punches, 6 arms moving at once. Liam ducked, blocked, and jabbed in between, finding small gaps in its defense. The battle was intense. The aliens were strong, fast, and coordinated, but Liam was unpredictable. He moved in ways they did not anticipate, combining observation with instinct. Every strike he made was precise, aimed not just to hit, but to destabilize and control. Cadets watching from the sides gasped as Liam adapted to every attack. The aliens began to realize this was not like fighting another cadet. Liam was analyzing them, predicting their moves, and using clever counters instead of brute force. Impossible, one alien whispered. No human has ever moved like that. Liam continued his fight, sweat dripping down his face, muscles burning, but his mind focused. He knew he could not rely on strength alone. The aliens had strength in numbers, but he had strategy. He used the environment to his advantage, pushing a cadet toward a training wall, dodging under swinging arms, and redirecting attacks with his momentum. Minutes passed and the aliens grew tired. Their attacks became slower, less coordinated. Liam, by contrast, felt his energy growing. Humans had endurance that many aliens lacked, and he had trained to last longer than anyone expected. Finally, he found an opening. With a rapid series of moves, he disabled 2 of the cadets, sending them to the ground with careful strikes that left them unharmed but unable to continue. The third cadet tried to regroup, but Liam was already behind, using a combination of agility and leverage to pin it in place. Silence fell over the yard. Liam stood upright, breathing steadily, while the alien cadets struggled to rise. The instructors watched with surprise and respect, murmuring among themselves. Vec approached him, eyes wide. "You have done it again," Vec said. 3 skilled cadets, and you have handled them without serious injury. Your mind and body are exceptional." Liam nodded, wiping sweat from his brow. "It's not just strength," he said. "It's how you use it and how you think." The alien cadets on the ground looked up at him, astonished. For the first time, they saw a human not as weak, but as clever, fast, and capable of adapting to any challenge. Some muttered apologies, others simply stared in awe. Word of Liam's fight spread quickly through the academy. By midday, cadets were stopping him in the halls, asking questions, watching how he moved, and trying to learn from him. Some admitted quietly that they had misjudged humans entirely. Others seemed uneasy, realizing that their assumptions had been wrong. After a short break, Liam was called to the strategy hall. Here, cadets were tested not with physical strength, but with intelligence, observation, and planning. Holographic displays of battlefields appeared in front of them. Aliens studied maps, tried to predict enemy movements, and devised complex plans. Liam examined the displays carefully. Instead of memorizing every detail, he looked for patterns and weaknesses. Where the aliens focused on brute force and direct confrontation, he imagined the human approach, unpredictable, indirect, and clever. The instructor set up a simulation. A human squad was defending a small base against a superior alien force. Liam quickly noticed flaws in the alien strategy, weak points, slow responses, and areas where his squad could exploit their weaknesses. Within minutes, he had rearranged the human forces, assigned tasks, and created traps that maximized efficiency without requiring extra strength. The simulation began. The alien instructors controlling the opposing force were confident. They had been through these simulations many times, and their strategies were almost perfect. But Liam's plan worked. The human squad held the base, countered attacks, and caused confusion in the enemy ranks. When the simulation ended, the room was silent. Instructors and cadets stared at him, amazed. One alien whispered, "How does a human think like that?" Vec nodded slowly. "You do not simply fight. You observe, adapt, and use what others cannot see. That is why you succeed where others fail." The day continued with more exercises. Liam faced different cadets, each trained for speed, strength, or agility. Each time he adapted. He dodged, blocked, countered, and found ways to turn disadvantages into advantages. Alien cadets began to watch him carefully, sometimes stepping back to observe instead of attacking. Humans, they realized, were not weak. They were unpredictable and clever. By evening, Liam was exhausted but satisfied. His body ached, his muscles burned, and sweat soaked his uniform, but his mind was clear. He had faced multiple challenges, alien cadets more experienced and stronger than him, and had adapted every time. He returned to his quarters and sat quietly, thinking about the day. Humans were often underestimated because of their size and apparent fragility. But today, Liam had shown that endurance, creativity, and adaptability could overcome raw strength. A soft knock came at the door. Liam looked up to see the yellow-skinned cadet from earlier, the one who had doubted him. I wanted to say something," the cadet stammered. "You were incredible today. I didn't think a human could." Liam smiled gently. "It's okay. Most people don't expect humans to be capable. That's our advantage." The cadet looked thoughtful. Do you think you can keep doing this, face all the challenges?" "I have to," Liam said simply. "Humans survive by adapting. That's what I'll keep doing." The cadet nodded slowly and left, leaving Liam alone again. He lay down on his cot, muscles aching but mind racing with strategies for the next day. He knew the academy would not let him rest for long. The next challenges would be harder, faster, and stronger. But he was ready. Humans were underestimated across the galaxy. Liam Parker, human cadet, was about to prove that underestimating them was a mistake. As he closed his eyes, he thought about the twin suns over Xylar and the distant stars beyond. The galaxy was vast, full of species that considered themselves superior. But humans had something different: tenacity, creativity, and the refusal to quit. Liam smiled in the darkness. The others would learn that soon enough. Tomorrow, he would face the ultimate test of the day. Multiple armored cadets working together in full battle simulations. And Liam knew he would not just survive, he would excel. The sun had barely risen over Xyler when Liam Parker stepped onto the training field. Today would be different. The instructors had announced that the next exercises would involve the most advanced armored cadets, fully equipped with the latest defensive suits, energy shields, and advanced weaponry. These cadets were considered the best in the academy, hand-picked for their skill, strength, and speed. Liam knew the challenge ahead was far greater than anything he had faced so far. The field was enormous, stretching across several kilometers. At one end stood the armored cadets, their suits gleaming under the twin suns. Each one moved with precision, and the hum of energy shields could be felt even from a distance. Alien cadets lined the sidelines, whispering nervously. Some of them had watched Liam in previous exercises and were still trying to understand how a human could achieve what they could not. Vec approached Liam, his orange eyes focused and serious. Today, you will face multiple armored cadets at once. They are trained to work together, cover each other's weaknesses, and defend against even the most experienced opponents. You will need more than skill. You will need strategy, speed, and clever thinking. Liam adjusted his stance, feeling a mixture of excitement and determination. "I understand," he said simply. "Let's begin." The signal sounded, and the armored cadets moved forward in perfect coordination. Liam took a moment to observe their movements, noting patterns, gaps, and angles. The first cadet charged straight at him, shield raised, ready to crush him with sheer force. Liam sidestepped, ducked under a swinging arm, and tapped a joint in the armor, causing it to wobble slightly. The cadet adjusted immediately, but Liam had already moved, exploiting the small opening he had created. The second cadet attacked from the side, swinging a heavy energy baton. Liam rolled forward, narrowly avoiding the strike, and pushed off the ground to land behind the cadet. He struck at the back of the armor where the panels met, creating a small crack. The cadet spun around, stunned at how quickly the human moved. The third cadet used ranged energy blasts, forcing Liam to dodge rapidly. He ducked, rolled, and used debris on the field for cover, getting closer to the armored opponent. The blast hit a nearby panel, sending sparks flying, and Liam saw his opportunity. He moved quickly, striking the armor with precise force, exploiting weak points that the cadets had not protected. Every movement required focus, timing, and speed. The armored cadets were trained for coordination, but Liam was unpredictable. He flowed around their attacks, striking only where necessary, using their strength against them. Alien cadets watching on the sidelines gasped. No human had ever performed so well against multiple armored opponents at once. Minutes passed, and the armored cadets began to tire. Their movements slowed, and small errors appeared. Liam noticed every one of them, adjusting instantly to maintain the advantage. A quick twist, a jump, a precise strike at a vulnerable joint. He was everywhere at once, impossible to pin down. Finally, he found an opening. With a series of rapid, calculated moves, he disabled two of the cadets, knocking them off balance without causing injury. The third cadet tried to regroup, but Liam anticipated the movement and countered, leaving the armored opponent unable to continue. The field went silent. Even Vec looked surprised. "You have done it again," Vec said, his voice low but filled with approval. "You have faced the best armored cadets, and yet you have succeeded without serious injury. Your adaptability and intelligence surpass anything we have seen." The alien cadets on the sidelines were stunned. Some whispered, "He is a human," and yet, while others simply shook their heads, unable to comprehend how a single human could match their strongest. Liam, however, remained calm. He had proven his skill, but he knew there were more challenges ahead. After a short break, Liam was called to the strategy hall. Here, The cadets would face a simulation involving multiple armored units attacking a human squad. The goal was to defend a strategic base and repel the attackers. The simulation was designed to be nearly impossible, with energy shields, heavy weapons, and perfectly coordinated alien strategies. Liam studied the holographic display carefully. He did not memorize positions or movements. Instead, he looked for patterns, weaknesses, and angles where the human squad could exploit the attacker's overconfidence. He noticed that the armored units, while strong, were predictable in their formation. Their speed and firepower were impressive, but their coordination relied on assumptions about the human response. When the simulation began, Liam immediately put his plan into action. He directed the human squad to hold positions, set traps, and exploit gaps in the armor formations. The armored units advanced, expecting a straightforward engagement, but Liam's strategy disrupted them at every turn. Explosions, misdirected attacks, and careful countermoves left the alien instructors astonished. Within minutes, the human squad had not only defended the base but forced the armored units into disarray. The instructors controlling the simulation were forced to adjust their tactics constantly, unable to predict Liam's unconventional approach. Cadets watching the simulation were in awe. Liam Parker, the human, had again outperformed the best in the academy. Vec approached Liam once more, eyes bright. "You do not fight like others. You think differently. Strength alone cannot achieve what you have done. Humans are underestimated far too easily." Liam nodded, thinking about the day. He had faced multiple armored cadets in real combat and in simulations, and each time he had found a way to overcome the odds. The alien cadets had strength, armor, and experience, but he had adaptability, intelligence, and determination. The final exercise of the day was a combined test of strategy and combat. Liam was paired with two alien cadets who were considered elite. Together, they would face a team of armored cadets in a controlled battle scenario. The goal was not just to win, but to survive and learn from each encounter. The battle began. The armored opponents moved with precision, using shields, energy blasts, and coordinated attacks. Liam observed carefully, directing his two partners, communicating silently with hand signals and gestures. The alien cadets were surprised at how quickly he analyzed the situation, adjusting positions and anticipating attacks. Liam's movements were fluid and precise. He used cover, leveraged momentum, and exploited weaknesses in the armor. When an opponent swung a heavy arm, Liam redirected it using the armored cadet's own energy. When another attacked with an energy blast, he used nearby obstacles to block and counter. The battle was intense, but Liam's leadership and quick thinking turned the tide. By the end of the exercise, the combined team had successfully completed the objectives, while the armored cadets were forced to retreat. The instructors and cadets watching were speechless. Not only had Liam excelled individually, but he had coordinated with others, combining strategy, skill, and leadership. Vec approached him once again, a rare smile on his face. "You are changing the way humans are seen in this academy. Today, you have proven that strength, armor, and experience are not everything. The mind, adaptability, and strategy matter just as much. You are remarkable." Liam nodded, feeling the weight of the day but also a sense of accomplishment. Humans had been underestimated, but that was changing. Across the academy, alien cadets whispered and watched him differently now. Some were still skeptical, but most were starting to realize that humans were not to be taken lightly. As night fell over Xyler, Liam returned to his quarters. His body ached, muscles burning from the day's exercises, but his mind was alive. He thought about the armored cadets, the strategies he had used, and the lessons he had learned. He knew the academy would have more challenges ahead, but he was ready. A soft knock came at his door. This time it was the small, yellow-skinned cadet who had doubted him before. I wanted to say thank you," it said quietly. You have shown us that humans are stronger than we thought, not in size but in mind and skill. Liam smiled faintly. That's all humans ever need, just a chance. The cadet nodded and left, still looking amazed. Liam sat down on his cot and closed his eyes. The galaxy was full of species who thought they were superior, who thought humans were weak. But here, in the heart of the academy, Liam Parker was showing that humans could be clever, adaptable, and unstoppable when underestimated. Tomorrow would bring even harder challenges, faster cadets and more advanced armor. But Liam was ready. Humans survived by adapting, and he had proven time and again that he could do just that. As he drifted off to sleep, the twin suns had set and Xyler's night sky glimmered with alien stars. Liam Parker, human cadet, smiled. The others would learn soon enough. Humans were not to be underestimated. The day of the ultimate test arrived. Liam Parker, the human cadet, stood at the edge of the largest training arena he had ever seen. The arena stretched across several kilometers, with walls reinforced by energy shields and panels of impenetrable alloy. Today, he would face the final challenge, the ultimate armor. It was a full-body suit designed to withstand everything: strength, energy blasts, speed, and agility. No cadet, alien or human, had ever broken through it. The other cadets were gathered at the sidelines, whispering nervously. The elite instructors, including Vec, watched closely from a raised platform. Even the armored cadets who had once been confident in their superiority looked uneasy. The human cadet had surpassed expectations at every step, and now he would face the pinnacle of the Academy's defenses. Liam adjusted his stance, feeling a mixture of excitement and focus. He had trained his body, tested his mind, and adapted to every challenge. Now it was time for the ultimate test. He stepped forward, eyes locked on the massive armor standing at the center of the arena. "Cadet Parker," Vec said, his voice echoing through the arena. "This armor is designed to be impenetrable. Every panel, every shield, every joint has been reinforced to withstand a cadet's maximum effort. Many have tried, none have succeeded. Today you will either fail or change the way humans are seen forever." Liam smiled faintly. "I'll do my best," he said simply. The armor moved forward, controlled by instructors remotely. It was taller than any cadet, and its energy shields glowed brightly, forming a protective aura that shimmered like a solid wall. Liam studied it carefully, noticing the joints, the weak points that were subtle but present, and the way the armor shifted when it moved. He did not rush. He never rushed. Patience and observation were his strengths. The first movement was slow, the armor swinging an arm as if to strike. Liam sidestepped, ducked under the attack, and pressed a joint at the shoulder. Sparks flew, and a small panel shifted. The armor adjusted immediately, but Liam had already noted the effect. He moved quickly to the other side, striking at another joint, twisting and pushing with precise force. The armor shuddered under the impact. Alien cadets at the sidelines gasped. Many had never seen a human move so confidently against a suit designed to be unbeatable. Vec's orange eyes were wide with interest. He had trained countless cadets, but none had approached this level of understanding, precision, and speed. The armor responded with faster movements, swinging arms, shifting panels, and energy blasts. Liam dodged, rolled, and jumped with careful timing, exploiting each weakness as it appeared. Every strike was calculated, aimed not just at the armor itself, but at the way it moved. Liam used leverage, momentum, and speed, turning the armor's own power against it. Minutes passed. Sweat dripped from Liam's brow, muscles burned, but his mind remained sharp. He was calm, focused, and relentless. The armor was formidable, but he was human, and humans adapted. Where the armor was predictable, he was unpredictable. Where it relied on raw power, he relied on precision and strategy. Finally, he found the ultimate opening. The energy shields had a slight lag at the corners of the chest panel, a subtle delay, barely perceptible but enough. Liam struck with a series of rapid movements, pushing and twisting at the weak points. The armor shuddered violently, sparks flying from the joints, and one of the panels cracked. The energy shield flickered, destabilized by the precise strikes. The hall went silent. Even the instructors and elite cadets could not believe what they were seeing. The small human, had caused the armor to crack. Liam did not hesitate. He moved quickly, exploiting the new weakness. He pressed, twisted, and struck again. The armor staggered, its movement slowed, and a large panel fell away, revealing the inner mechanics. Alien cadets gasped audibly. The instructors leaned forward, murmuring among themselves in surprise. Vec's hum of approval filled the arena. "Remarkable," he said. "The armor designed to withstand any cadet has been breached. The human has proven that strength, shields, and technology alone are not enough. Intelligence, precision, and adaptability, these are equally important." The final moments were intense. The armor tried to regain control, swinging its arms and activating emergency shields, but Liam anticipated every move. He danced around the attacks, striking at joints, applying pressure, and using every trick he had learned. Sparks flew, metal groaned, and finally, with one precise strike, the armor's main chest plate cracked completely and the energy shields collapsed. Silence filled the arena for a moment. Then, a wave of noise erupted. Alien cadets cheered, some clapped, and others simply stared in disbelief. Liam stepped back, breathing steadily, his body exhausted but his mind clear. He had done it. He had broken the armor no one had been able to defeat. Vec approached him slowly, his expression unreadable at first. Then he smiled, a rare, genuine smile. "You have done what no cadet has done in centuries. You have tested the ultimate armor and you have succeeded. Human, you have changed how we see your species." Liam nodded simply, sweat dripping from his forehead. "It wasn't about breaking it," he said. "It was about understanding it, learning it, and adapting. That's what humans do." Alien cadets gathered around, some hesitantly at first, then more openly. They looked at him with a mixture of respect, awe, and perhaps even envy. Many whispered, "The human, he has outdone us all." Others simply shook their heads, unable to believe that a single human could achieve what generations of alien cadets could not. The final ceremony began shortly after. Liam stood at the center of the arena, exhausted but proud. Vec addressed the cadets and instructors. "Today, we have witnessed something extraordinary. A human cadet, underestimated by all, has proven that courage, intelligence, and adaptability can overcome even the greatest obstacles. Let this be a lesson to all cadets. Never underestimate humans." Cheers filled the arena. Even some of the most skeptical alien cadets were applauding, acknowledging the human's achievement. Liam smiled faintly, looking at the cadets around him. Some approached him cautiously, asking questions, wanting to learn from him, or simply to understand how a human could do the impossible. As night fell, Liam returned to his quarters. His body was sore, every muscle aching, but his mind was alive with possibilities. He thought about the day, the armor, the challenges, the alien cadets, and the instructors' reactions. He had proven something far more important than physical strength. Humans could adapt, think, and overcome obstacles that seemed impossible. A soft knock came at his door. Liam opened it to find the yellow-skinned cadet who had doubted him before. I wanted to say thank you," it said quietly. "You've shown us humans are not weak. We misjudged you," Liam smiled. "That's okay. Most people underestimate humans at first. That's our advantage." The cadet nodded and left, still amazed. Liam sat on his cot, looking out the window at the stars above Xylar. The galaxy was vast, full of species that believed themselves superior. But humans had something different. Tenacity, adaptability, intelligence, and the refusal to quit. Tomorrow, the Academy would bring more tests, new challenges, and perhaps new enemies. But Liam Parker, human cadet, had made his mark. Humans were no longer underestimated here. They were recognized as capable, clever, and unstoppable when their potential was realized. He closed his eyes and smiled. The galaxy had seen only a small part of what humans could do. Liam had opened the door, and one day, humans would walk through it fully, proving to every species that underestimating them was a mistake. And on Xylar, under the twin suns that had watched his journey, Liam Parker slept for the first time in weeks without worry. He had survived, adapted, and triumphed. The impenetrable armor was broken, and with it, the limits that others had set for humans. For the first time, humans were not just a species among many, they were a force to be reckoned with.